We'll get to everything, don't worry. I have to play more fish with the merfolk. Ari did a really sick job designing the card. I mean, I think that card is really cool. I don't think it's very good, but I could just be wrong. So Wooded Foothills go. A little bit concerned that this is Storm. I'm going to go ahead and just still lead on my Patchwork here. Then save the Bauble for the Channeler. Go Channeler, Bauble, Tarfire. I think Duskboard will make Modern more aggro. Well, it's our most promising deck seems to be an aggro deck, so hard time imagining it would make it less aggro. We're not playing Flytrap. We have 4 Flytrap in the deck. And they've been very good today. So the amount of tanking they're doing here makes me think that they are not Storm. They get a tapped Breeding Pool. Not sure what that means. Not likely to be... Oh, okay, well. Hello, Infect. Modern confirmed to be more aggro. Let's go ahead and mill a card. Mill a Rumble. The surprise Infect gamer. Gonna play a Channeler. Let's go ahead and see if this Tarfire resolves before I see what we're doing with our Bauble. They might have a mutagenic growth, right? So creature in the yard, an instant, and kindred. So we have 6 types for Delirium. They do have the mutagenic growth though. So graveyard this, and then just go ahead and target them. Another copy of mutagenic growth. Get in for 3. Draw a lightning bolt. Obviously a pretty good pickup. So mutagenic growth, 2 mystery cards. Could potentially die if those 2 mystery cards are both the correct pump spells. That's one of them. Okay. And they have another blighted agent. Wow. So now we're gonna... I guess we could just bolt whatever they target with mutagenic growth right now. Or, like, not right now, but whenever they go for it. So I'm just gonna go play a FOMO, discard a FOMO. Hope they don't top deck a pump spell. And if they don't, we should win. Oh, wait, do we win now? Okay, so can I bestow and maintain Delirium? Yes. I bestow on here, and then that I can untap my FOMO, and then so this is going to be 8. 8 plus 3 is 11, but then they block my Patchwork Beastie, and then they untap and they kill me with the mutagenic growth. Oh, it's so close, though. They can have mutagenic growth and attack with Inkmoth? Yeah, but then I would just take 3 infect total. So right now I have to just bolt whatever they target with the mutagenic growth is my plan. Obviously lost this die roll again too. Our die roll win percentage is ridiculously low at the moment. I guess we beat this though, because now they can't. Oh, they can. No, we're still dead. Yeah, so now they mutagenic growth one of these. I take exactly 10. A very close game. Was never a problem if we won the die roll, which we've said a couple times today. Okay, so we're on the play against Infect. Don't think Pyroclasm is... It can be good against their build if they're playing like a lot of Hierarchs, I guess. I almost feel like I just want to try to be like as aggressive as possible. I don't know if I want to play Blood Moon. I don't think I want to play Force of Vigor. Mutagenic with what, 0 cards in hand? They had mutagenic growth. That was the one card we knew about it because of Bauble. Play 1 Blood Moon, 1 Pyroclasm. Not very scientific. Yeah, last time, yeah, if we had Bolt instead of Tarfire early, it would have won. We ain't the beatdown dog. I don't know. I mean, we have 7 1-mana removal spells, so it's... I feel like we're going to have a lot of games where we're just 1-mana removal spelling, plus having a really aggressive start, right? Okay, opponent's on the mold of 6. Uh-oh. Well, that's really bad. I did not bring an answer to that. Obviously, we're playing against Infect. Hard to know that they're going to have ley lines in against you. Maybe we should have hasted this Fear of Missing Out, actually. I think I'm just going to go play Second Channeler. It is just a 1-mana 1/1, but we still get to surveil every single time. They also didn't fetch end of turn, which is kind of weird. Do they know about the Blood Moon? Do they suspect Blood Moon? Alright, put us no creatures in play. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cast a Phoenix and attack for 3. It's, I think, impossible for them to have lethal here. Now, don't quote me on that, but it seems very unlikely at the very least. So tap Breeding Pool, taking 4 down to 14. So potentially a Blighted Agent with a protection spell up. No, they're tapping out. Maybe I should have left, I probably should have left a haste mana floating, actually. Okay, so we got our opponent down to 8. What should we do with these bolts? Is a big question. I think I should probably be bolting an agent here and then hold the other one, but not really clear. Basically draw 2 cards there. Could be red to kill the Hierarch. I might just be dead with like no ability to save myself with this lightning bolt, but it's pretty tough for them to kill me here. I think. Haven't played against the most Infect lately. All right. Now, I do think we're supposed to go for this here, so they just have like double mutagenic growth. We're not dead. Graveyard 4 lands in a row. So they hexproof here, which means they need double mutagenic growth to kill me this turn. So I have 7 Infect now. The 5th land in a row is on the top of my library. I'll say this: we were definitely winning a lot with this deck. We have not been running well. Our actual I feel like luck has not been very high. with losing nearly every die roll and running into 2 Leyline of the Void decks and some of our opponents' luck too. That being said, I'm gonna go and try to block here, see what my opponent does. 1 mana for mutagenic growth, I think. So that's an exiled Phoenix. I get another Surveil here. We're looking for any creature or any burn spell to either haste or cast. That was on my list. And should get the job done. So maybe more lucky then, I think. Maybe the last 2 cards are Force of Negation, a blue card, and then they top deck a pump spell. Okay, so we beat a Leyline. Good news. I'm going to bring in these Force of Vigors now that we know they have Leyline of the Void. I'm going to cut the Blood Moon on the draw, I think. And especially now that we have more answers for Inkmoth with Force of Vigor. And then I'm going to cut the Beasties. And I think just 1 Pyroclasm probably. Could play 2. Let's just do 1. Does Infect run Callous Sellsword? Should it? It doesn't, and I don't think it should. It's just way off colors, Thought it would probably be better. Okay, well, I'm going to click the keep button here. Let's see if my opponent has a 7-card Leyline hand. They have mulligan to 6. Yeah, the Black Infect creature is pretty good for Exing Crusader. Punts on a mull to 5. I wonder if they're playing the red Leyline to go with Infect. I have a new red Leyline deck, but it is a clever Lumimancer, Illuminator, Virtuoso, Slickshot, Show Off, Niv-Magus Elemental deck instead of Infect. Okay, so they multi 5 and they put a Leyline into play. Then they go Verdant Catacombs. Ignoble Hierarch. I'm probably just going to go Stomping Ground, Tarfire. And then save the Bauble for the Channeler Surveil, just sticking for Force of Vigor mostly. They don't have a second land, which seemed pretty likely with them missing or mulling to 5 and putting a Leyline into play. Basically graveyarding any non Force of Vigor card. As much as it hurts me. Rumble is, a card that's hard to put back. I'm gonna put it back. Another Hierarch. Alright, I think I'm just gonna still be digging for Force. I have a Surveil, I have a draw off the FOMO, seems. And I want to be able to maybe save Rumble to actually get Delirium after I find Force, but maybe I'm just not going to find it. Also could have found another removal spell, didn't find another removal spell. So there's a Blighted Agent. Out of Surveil lands. Didn't seem like they had a mutagenic growth before. I'm going to go ahead and just main phase this. Unfortunately for us, they have it now. Attack for 3. And I guess unfortunately it's another fire. We were playing more Tarfires than Bolts anyways. A weird matchup. Scale up. This is attacking for 7. Even a Force of Vigor is like just not even going to do it anymore because I have to like wait a whole turn. I guess they could somehow not have another pump spell in their hand. Seems kind of unlikely. Okay, so I guess what we'll do is dig for a burn spell. So no burn spell there. The Say name doesn't really help. Oh, also with the Leyline, say its name does nothing. It's not like Cash Grab or Rumble. Okay, so no burn spell found. We have one more look. I'm going to go ahead and attack for 5. But now it seems I'm going to get this upkeep stop, I guess, because the knowing about vines, I need to bolt before the vines happens. Okay, so now we are dead. Brought in the answers to Leyline, didn't draw one. Losing to Infect feels bad. Alright, let's keep this one on the play this time. Infect is good against Boros. I kind of doubt it. Maybe it is, but the deck sure has a really fast clock, low mana curve, Blood Moon, and like anywhere from 8 to 11 1-mana removal spells in the main deck. Sometimes the One Ring also, which is not bad against Infect either. Why do you have DB in your name? I've seen that bunch of motive. This is the Daybreak, which is the game that manages Magic Online. It's their content creator account program. They say I'm using your deck against me, and they've played a Wooded Foothills. Not sure which deck it is. No, they're supposed to go Crusader. Well, I mean, if you're talking about Crusader-based, in fact, I agree that Crusader is good in these spots. You will not always, like, how often are you curving into Crusader, though, is something I wonder. Because I agree when you curve into Crusader, you'll have a good time. Okay, so we actually brick on Delirium. We do have Delirium after we bolt, though. Could be the mirror, yeah. Yeah, the Crater count's a really good upgrade, I agree. They keep a card on top. It could also just be like Woodland combo. Could be the Bloodbraid Marauder deck, or one of the two Bloodbraid Marauder decks. A surprising amount of options. Okay, no, it is the mirror. Cool. That's fun. So we won the play in the mirror, which seems to be a pretty big deal. They put a Flytrap into their hand. If I draw a land... Okay, I did draw a land. Yeah, I'm just going to play a Flytrap, and then next turn I can haste the second one, cast Bolt to get Delirium, and then get a bunch of triggers. Person watching is playing Evolution, so 8x copies of Crusader. Okay, I mean, it seems like I would agree that it seems like Infect has a way to cheese Mardu with Crusader. To me, that sounds like a more accurate statement than Infect has a favorable Boros matchup. I would think if you played 100 matchups, Boros is still probably coming on top more often due to the ring, Blood Moon's ability to race, and like you're just not going to be able to super consistently Crusader them. They could have attacked with this. Effectively, not the biggest deal, right? They just discard a Phoenix, and then yes, pass to me. I draw another Phoenix. So let's Bolt the FOMO, haste the Flytrap, and then attack for a lot. How did Patchwork Beastie looked on Thursday? I think good. I've been liking it today as like a curve filler archetype role player. I don't know that it's necessarily optimal though. All right, so this is attack for 10. This opponent can either chump and go to 12 or take it and go to 7. They opt for the chump block route. So they're hasting their own Flytrap. Now they have 5 types instead of 6 for the big hit. I'm kind of surprised they're hasting. I may be missing something. Oh, they bolt for the 6 type. Okay, but this is... Oh, this is lethal. Aloe with the Twitch Prime. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, this is... It should be 12 counters for 14 damage, and I'm dead. How do you feel about in general FOMO? FOMO is very good, I think. I like FOMO a lot. Well, I mean, it's hard to feel too bad. Since they've taken my deck and crushed us with it. Now, I guess Tarfire does kind of miss... I'm going to cut all the Tarfires, or 3 of them. It just kind of misses everything. Force of Vigor is actually kind of interesting against Fear of Missing Out, Phoenix, and Patchwork. Let's play at least one. Kind of think that it's maybe just actually good in the matchup. Let's try it. Let's just try the plan. So on the play with a 1-lander that does have a Bauble, I'm going to mulligan, though. Keep this one, and then... I think I am putting back the Force of Vigor. It's always worse on like mulligans on the play. It would have been cool if it was just in this card's hand as a 7-card hand. That is one... I mean, maybe that's something we don't talk about enough. It's just like the pitch cards are like the fact that if you mulligan into a pitch card, you just bottom it is... Like, it makes it like just like good in the 7-card hands and good in mulligans too. Don't know if how exactly to articulate that. Rumble is so good. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not putting an extra type in the yard by graveyarding it. It's better than the average draw. All right, we're gonna take the Flytrap now. Looks like we are missing a type for Delirium. 2 for our hasty Flytrap next turn. But I think that's okay. Could draw a Bauble, I guess. Oh, sorry, we can also just Rumble and then haste it. Never mind. Springleaf Drum with Rumble is crazy. Yeah, we have 1 drum with like in our green-black build. 2 Phoenixes in the yard. To see Jerry T's proposed green-white energy list. No, I didn't see it. If you want to link it, I could take a look. Oh, wait. So I actually can't do that, right? Because I can go filter this into red mana, but I won't have 2 green to rumble twice. I think we're still going to rumble. Find another Flytrap and another Arena of Glory. I think I'm taking the extra land because I just kind of do need the land for next turn. Although maybe I should have taken the other Flytrap and like double hasted Flytraps next turn. I think I'm just going to rumble again and then see what happens. Okay, we did mill another say its name, and so if we find another one, we get to do that thing. I tried the energy package with Flage and Rumble. I know Dingo has. I know I've played Flage and Rumble in a couple different shells. I don't know if I've done it in like traditional energy. Tournament report. Oh, I thought you were talking about I thought you said green-white energy, Cody. Yeah, I've seen Jerry's Boros build. I think it's interesting. There's a lot of good ideas there. So a non-hasty Flytrap with only 4 types. So next turn we have 6 mana, so we could go FOMO, discard, Phoenix, so that we have 6 types, haste Flytrap, and then attack with Flytrap twice. Okay, can't attack with FOMO twice. This seems good that this is the play. Discard Phoenix. 6 types. Is it somehow lethal if I bestow the Phoenix? So like I lose a type if I bestow the Phoenix. But I could go Flytrap enter. Okay, Flytrap enters. 2 counters on Flytrap. Double up to 4 counters, 6 power. Then I lose Delirium, but I put 2 more counters on it. So 8. And then it has 2 power, and I get to attack with it twice in the air. So yeah, I guess that is lethal. So let's take that line. Get rid of Endurance and a Rumble, I guess. Yeah, I still have Delirium, but I don't have 6 types in the yard for the double counters thing. But I don't need it, is what I'm trying to say. Because I get to put 2 more counters, and I get to untap and attack again. Okay, so we're going to game 3 on the draw. Sideboard cards didn't end up being very relevant. Let's just try this plan. Moxfield says it's only 59 cards. Okay, I guess I'll check that out. All right, going to keep this. Having Endurance is just kind of insane. Sorry, it should be 4 Tarfires, not 3. Yeah, Flytrap has really exceeded my expectations. I'm kind of shocked how good it is. Obviously, it's much better in a format that can get 6 types really fast and give it haste really consistently. Like with Rumble, Channeler, Bauble, Arena of Glory, Detectives, Phoenix. This card is very, 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 very powerful. It's going to be interesting to me to see like with in Pioneer and Standard, this card is legal, but you don't have Arena of Glory, Detectives, Phoenix, Malevolent Rumble, Mishra's Bauble, Tarfire, which all seem really important to making it 14 hasty power on turn 3. Yeah, I know about the interaction with Bowmaster's on attack. I think it's not a very big problem in a deck like this that just has a lot of 1 mana removal spells. It's 0 mana to put on attack into play. So if they do Bowmaster on attack, you just draw a lot of cards until you find a 1 mana removal spell and you just kill the Bowmaster, and then you have a lot of cards. Don't think we're supposed to endurance there. It might have been correct. Here I'm gonna FOMO, discard Phoenix, get Delirium, and then be pretty interested to see like if I'm gonna Force of Vigor and kill like Flytrap plus Phoenix this turn, or maybe Endurance. I'm kind of cool that I'm sure we're gonna pitch the second Force of Vigor no matter what we do. If I tried H1 with FOMO, okay, we need less abbreviations. H1, I don't know what that is. I do know what FOMO is. Hollow one. Hollow one. I have. It was good. FOMO, I think, is going to be a lock-in staple for that deck. Which is mostly just has me very confident that this is going to be a real modern card. Is that it's just this card seems very powerful, and Hollow One is already like a really strong existing deck, and FOMO seems like a perfect fit there. Okay. So let me respond to this trigger with an Endurance so they don't get the counters. It's odd. With Peace and Love, this has always been a stream where you correcting my pronunciation is not not something I'm very interested in. There's a bunch of weird made-up words. There's a million of them. I'm gonna say some of them wrong. I don't really care, and I prefer not caring very much about the pronunciation. Thank you though. As long as you know what I mean, that's all that I really care about. That's a good top deck. Don't have our green card for Force anymore, but I don't think that matters so much. So, am I content trading FOMO for the Channeler? I don't think I want to do that, so I'm gonna put the counters like this. Could have also just put 2 counters on the FOMO. That might have been a bit better, actually. Just having counters on the flyer also seems so nice, though. Alright, so they graveyard a Lightning Bolt, the Surveil. What do you think of the Oculus card for Modern? I think it'll be extremely, extremely fringe playable, if playable at all. I don't think that card is very good. At the very least, it isn't very good in like what games of Modern look like right now. You know, games of Modern are not really about like slow 3-mana grindy engines that will like be good if they survive over the course of 2 or 3 turns. Modern is a format of if kind of just like aggro combo control to some extent. Like Frog is maybe like the exception to this. I've kind of like the only deck that gets to play in this way, but I don't think it would be optimal to play Oculus in that deck, and I think it's just you're just an aggro deck, a combo deck, or a control deck. They didn't want Rumble. No, this is mill. This isn't Surveil on your upkeep. That's just mill on your upkeep. Yeah, I agree that Murktide just seems a lot stronger in that shell. Okay, we're going to keep this hand. There's a good chance I'm going to just discard Say Its Name to FOMO on turn 2, but we'll see what happens. What about good old mid-range? So it kind of, maybe it depends on your definition of Boros, but I'm starting to think of Boros as an aggro deck more than a mid-range deck. I would consider Frog to be a mid-range deck, but I think most people would not consider Frog to be mid-range. I'm going to keep this because it's just a bit easier to get Delirium by keeping it. I think most people would not consider Frog to be a mid-range deck. They call it tempo, but I would call it mid-range because I usually like to lump Murktide as a mid-range deck too. Boros is a proactive control deck, and this is unhinged and unhinged statement. But this is also kind of what I mean with when I say it's a little bit muddy. Okay, so I guess we'll discard this Phoenix probably. Hopefully we can surveil another type into the yard. Okay, so I guess we can keep that on top and then draw it off the FOMO and they get another surveil, which is kind of funny. What's the difference between tempo and mid-range? So tempo is a mid-range deck that plays counter spells, is really the answer, and then mid-range is a mid-range deck that plays discard spells. That's the difference, but They're both efficient threats plus interaction, but just one uses discard spells and one uses counter spells, and so people act like it's different dynamic. Okay, so we don't have Delirium. We have double artifact, double creature, and enchantment. Crack Bauble before surveillance. What would that accomplish? So seeing Bowmaster, if we're gonna crack these twice to not get Bowmaster triggered. Although they are probably just gonna kill my DRC. Excited to play this matchup. Thinking of main phase. Am I wrong? Why don't you play mid-range decks like Basim and things with DRC? But like, so like, why is Basim a mid-range deck and not Dimir Frog? Like Basim is also a 2-mana. It's also a Dimir deck playing cheap efficient threats and a bunch of counter spells. But it's just not playing Murktide Regent, so it's not tempo. That's kind of exactly what I'm saying. Okay, so my opponent probably has a Force of Negation. Maybe they're just reading Say Its Name. Maybe both. Either way, the Say Its Name gets forced. And we are going to hope to draw Fetchland this turn. That would be really nice. Even if this just got countered, that's 2 extra damage for us this turn. Because Basim plays more 2-for-1s than Frog. Yeah, but like, what's the formula of like, Basim having a little bit more 2-for-1? It doesn't even really. It's just Basim, kind of. And I guess Tamio too. But I agree. So, to some extent, archetypes in Modern are a little blurry at the moment, maybe. Yeah, purely vibe-based. All right, so they get in for 2, putting me down to 14. And they pass the turn. Fetchland would be great. I draw Mishra's Bauble. Not very, kind of the worst draw, the 4th Mishra's Bauble against the Bowmaster. Sorry, do not mean to mistap again, but I'm just going to cast this. So hopefully they don't have another Force of Negation. I don't really mind if this gets countered. I get Delirium. Shoot the Sheriff. Not exactly correct to do that in response, because now it just gives me the option of returning that, right? But obviously not such a big deal either. I'm going to get a Mounted. We have 6 types in the yard now, which is good. I'm going to play a Channeler, and then play our Bauble. A land to maybe haste a Flytrap could be good. They graveyard another copy of Force of Negation. Yeah, I think a land to either go Flytrap, Patchwork, or... We just have a lot of combinations of 4 mana next turn. I'm also not sure if I'm going to crack the Bauble or not. My understanding was tempo equals you're trying to get mana advantage where you spend less mana to answer threats. Your opponent play cards like Spell Pierce, Bounce Spells tapping out. Yeah, but nobody plays bounce spells anymore, and so it's like it's just counter spells now. You know what I mean? All right, so hopefully they don't have a counter spell up. I'm gonna not crack the Bauble, I think. Would love this to just resolve. The Beastie hasn't been very impressive. So this is something that is good to talk about in times like this, I think. But like, this is a 1-mana 3/3 that mills on your upkeep. Like this is the second best 1-mana threat for this deck besides Channeler. I don't think there's a better 1-mana threat. We could maybe splash for Nethergoyf. Let's splash for Nethergoyf. Never mind. Let's splash for Nethergoyf. Okay, so if I bestow Phoenix, I can exile Say Its Name, FOMO, Channeler Beastie, and I'll still have Delirium, right? Because I'll have Tarfire, land, Bauble. Yeah, Beastie being artifact is good. Like Beastie is good. I mean, like splashing for 1-drop is not easy either, especially in a deck that's playing 4 copies of Arena of Glory. But it's like like a 1-mana 3/3 creature that's like 2 types for Delirium and Mills. Like it's not a card that is going to be the card that is looking really impressive, but it is going to be the kind of card that like is like quietly winning you the game because you curved out well with it, or you milled 2 important types over the course of the game. It's never going to be a card that it can really loudly look very good. That being said, maybe splashing for Nethergoyf is just correct. Okay, so we got to put it down to 2. Kind of surprised that they just chose to take the hit. Especially because I have, 2... I mean, I guess jumping is something they could just do this turn. So maybe not. They also chose to not fetch end of turn. So this, I guess, can just still get them a swamp. Looking for a fatal push. Yeah, it being 2 types is really important, I think. You just want to have a lot of 2-type cards. They have another Murktide, it makes sense. I mean, it's going to be really tough for them to cast another Murktide, but yeah, maybe.
Some apple?
Yeah, great. Thank you. Do you think Saga is still not a great choice for the format? I mean, you can play Urza Saga in decks, but it is definitely not a great card to just like force into your mid-range deck or whatever. Urza Saga is still playable in Modern, but it is like at an all-time low. Sorry about all the crunching. I want to love the impending Black Carbon news set 2-mana not impact or sounds so bad. Well, I mean, you have like these cards are playable too. I think that card might be good. It's like really good with Hex Mage. What brand of apple am I eating? I don't know. It was green at Walmart and I put it in my bag. But is Saga better as there's less Wrath of Skies out there? Was that the big reason? That's part of it, but it's also like one thing is Urza Saga tokens plus Shadow Spear is bad against Boros. Your Boros opponent is just beating you fairly every single time. Urza Saga tokens plus Shadow Spear is bad against every combo deck. Although sometimes you can go Saga tokens plus Graveyard Hate, but it's pretty slow too against some of those combo decks. And so it's just like it isn't particularly good in any matchup. And if something isn't particularly good in any matchup, it just ends up not being very good overall. So when I play a Channeler, it's bad against Bowmaster, but it's better on my mana with me having a Forest and all these red cards. That being said, I think it's just pretty bad to play Channeler on turn 1 against the Bowmaster. Why did Jeskai die down into so much of the meta? I don't really know. I think Jeskai's still probably pretty good. I don't think there's an amazing build out there maybe, but I don't know. I like Jeskai. I know some people are still doing pretty well with it. It might be that Boros just beats up on Jeskai all the time now because of Ring, and that's not something I really know if that's the case. But that could be the case. We mill a Windswept Heath. We draw a Windswept Heath. So if I'd had another type here, then I would be kind of likely to go just Channeler, Tarfire the Frog, make them discard a card, attack with a Beastie. Instead, let's just go ahead and cast a Rumble. Hopefully we don't get Force of Negation. Thankfully we don't. We want the FOMO to go to the yard for an enchantment. You know there's a card called FOMO, Fear of Missing Out, in the new set?
Really?
Yeah, Fear of Missing Out.
Wow. Is it because that's so scary? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like a horror set, This is the, everyone's greatest fear. I'm going to attack with the Beastie. I'm okay just trading it for 2 cards in their hand. Oh, maybe that's just not... Yeah, I should just leave it back to block. If I'm going to do that, I want to block with it, then attack. Javier said he would not be playing Jeskai right now. That might have something to do with it. Yeah, maybe. I just think it's not so bad. But maybe just my threshold for bad is just is just higher.
I learned the dogs like apples. I gave them apples. Fear of disappointing other people. It's all too real. Also, the fear of meeting your heroes and being disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had a dream. I met Chapel Roan. And I told her my life story, and she was my friend, and then she invited me on stage, and it was fun.
2 on the bottom of Preordain. They fly the frog.
Fear fear of mochi. Did you know a lot of people die from eating mochi?
A lot?
Yeah, people, like, they're choking on mochi because it's so...
What's a lot? What number is a lot?
Too many. It's not like a handful.
What's a handful?
Like less than 10.
Mm.
I think it's more than 10.
I'll still eat mochi. This is a long tank here. Alright, done with my apples. My opponent's been tanking for 2 minutes. Yeah, Tarfire is 2 types. It's a Kindred instant. It's not also a Goblin. It is just like the subtype is Goblin in the same way. It's like this is a human shaman as a subtype. I don't think they're AFK. I think they're just genuinely having a tough decision here. Now, I'd be almost shocked if they have Counterspell in their hand with the amount of time it took them to take this turn, but maybe they could. So I guess I'm just going to play Channeler and double Tarfire in defense if this resolves. If he gets countered, then I'm going to slam a Flytrap, of course. All right, so in for 3, opponent down to 16. Did you ever consider variety content like chess or poker? I've done some variety content. For a long time last year, I was trying to no-hit Dark Souls, and I'm actually relearning the route because we hit a certain level for our charity incentive this year. As far as chess goes, I used to play a lot. The thing is, nobody watches you play chess unless you're very, very good. I think the same is kind of true for poker. Also, you have to be very, very knowledgeable, and I am not exactly very knowledgeable when it comes to poker. I've played some. I like to play poker. So I would love for my opponent to attack with this frog, and then I get to block. Then they discard a card, and then I Tarfire. That's not what happens. But I'm gonna go ahead and Tarfire this frog, and if they can discard their last 2 cards to counter it, or they can just let it happen, and I'm kind of happy either way, I think. Esther with the 39 months. Thank you so much, sweetie. Yeah, I'll probably stream some Hades 2 when it comes out. It'd be fun to get Esther in on it, because, like, Esther's very fun to watch play. Like, we were playing a lot of the Hades 2 when it came out. I don't know exactly if we can, like, split screen it or something. Okay, so they discard a Murktide, so it seems like they're going to discard their other card also. We played Ultimate Texas Hold'em. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's the most I've ever won at a casino is during Ultimate Texas Hold'em. Okay, so we mill a commercial district, and then we draw a FOMO. So we trigger the Bowmaster if we cast this. So I think I'm gonna wait until next turn where I can maybe like get 6 types, and I can maybe oh, they just concede. Okay, well. Alright. Mulligan a 0-lander. Not rocket science. Gonna keep this hand, definitely not ideal. I'm gonna put back all in the tech. And we're gonna get very lucky with Say Its Name. Just gonna graveyard that. Is the Say Its Name package worth trying Angoria's Vengeance in lieu of the non-creature discard effects? Tell them about the Elden Ring tree. I feel like that was a kind of you had to be there moment, sweetie. But like Esther played some Elden Ring, and then she's at the tutorial area, and there's a note on the ground that says "Look up," and she looks up and goes, and it's the Elden tree. It was very funny. There's just like exactly it says on the ground "Look up." So it was pretty. I think you had to be there, but it was good. I don't know. Saint's name is good. I think that there's not a lot else drawing you to green in Goryo, so I don't know if I necessarily like the idea of trying to force it in there. Are we gonna get Force of I feel like every time we cast this, we get Force of Negation. Okay, they tank Spell Snare. Not a lot of respect for the card. Are we up against Frog again? We just beat Frog. And they're preordaining. One on top, one on bottom, and then they play a Raucous Theater. They're playing some kind of Grixis nonsense, I guess. Kragwick Cremator, Grixis nonsense, I see. So, it seems like we should Fear of Missing Out, discard Phoenix, like every single time, and then didn't draw anything else really that we want to be doing, so let's keep this on top. It's so hard to graveyard a Rumble. And then I can go Rumble into Flytrap, but I can't go Rumble into Flytrap Phoenix. Just realized with Buddy Mind, if Watts are going to make CEDH a comp format, they would need to get rid of the reserve list, huh? I mean, actually, that's not true, right? Why would that be true? Like, Legacy is a competitive format, or has been a competitive format, where, you know, I've played Legacy at a Pro Tour, and the reserve list was a thing. The reserves list also affects Commander less, because, like, you have to buy one Gaia's Cradle, you know, like 3 dual lands, and you're kind of in. It used to be and Mana Crypt, not anymore. Yeah, but you just have to play Bolt over Heat. We're just a pure aggro deck. We need to be able to bolt our opponent's face. I know that Unholy Heat is sometimes better. Okay. Hopefully we don't get Goryo's next turn. Oh, dead FOMO. Okay, so 4 cards in their hand. Finally, let me take my draw. Arena of Glory is the best hit by a lot, especially if we mill 2 more types. Instead, we find another Flytrap. Oh, we also find it. We also find the Say Its names. That's pretty exciting. I was right about us getting lucky with this, I guess. So I can't quite Phoenix. All right, just 0 mana 9/9. Now I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go Flytrap, 1 counter on Flytrap, 1 counter on Altanak. I know I'm not saying this right, but I don't really care. And then next turn I can go Tarfire, and then get trigger here, and I can double all the counters on my creatures twice and go really crazy. So I want to have counters on both creatures, so I can do that. Now, we do die to Kragwick Cremator plus Yargle. That's 18 damage. We're going to lose to Goryo's and Emrakul. I have 6 permanents, but Bowmaster incoming. I mean, I don't think their deck plays Bowmaster, but that is true. We don't have a mana up to kill a Bowmaster. But I would lose to a Bowmaster, though. I'd be kind of surprised if they're playing it. Like, I don't know how they have room for all this interaction, the Kragwick combo, Psychic Frog, and then they're also playing Bowmaster. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. If we just had one more permanent somehow, then kind of a fun game where we're like racing them. I will say we've played against like so many graveyard combos today. It seems like the 4th Endurance would have been pretty good. I think I'm gonna play cheeky Blood Moon on the play, maybe 2. I don't think I want Force of Vigor. They don't usually play Saga these days. They just play Cookbook. Why spread counters? Doubling is the same, so it's better to invest on smalling creature. Well, so it's not the same, is it, right? Because it's like, so if they each have 1 counter, and the next turn I go 1 counter double, it's 4 on each, versus 2 counters double, it's 8. I guess it is the same, huh? I mean, it's still just kind of good to spread out the love, right? Any ideas for revisiting the crime novelist Goblin deck? Cauldron Mog seems so insane. I mean, I agree Cauldron Mog is exciting. To some extent, like, that deck like did really bad viewership wise. I spent probably like 20 hours working on it, and people just weren't that interested in it, despite me thinking it had a lot of cool stuff. On the tech as trample. That's a good point, yeah. Yeah, maybe just go all in on all the tech at those spots. Okay, on the play. Cool to have 2 out of 3 say its names already. I'm going to keep. We also say its name gets to dig pretty aggressively for endurance too. Now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and play the Bauble turn 1. If I draw like another Channeler or a Patchwork Beastie, I would regret this, but I think this is probably just fine. Obviously, the mono blue Belcher deck's playing Tamashi. What do I think about that? I know. So I played I played Selective Memory over Tamashi. The last time I played it, I went 0-2 drop and then Doomwake won the tournament with Tamashi. I will say also I really want Tamashi to be optimal. Like if Tamashi is optimal, that's really exciting because I hate playing Selective Memory on Magic Online. And I think in general it's something that makes sense. Isn't it bad to run a single battle because it's always an additional type when hitting the grave? So it sounds like your comment is wanting me to play a battle, but that's not what you've typed out here. But this is an aggro deck. They're like all the battles are just kind of too slow and too dirtily, I think. And they don't just immediately give you Delirium like these cards do most of the time. And you know, card quality is still important despite okay, we'll take a FOMO. Yeah, you just have to maintain your card quality. Okay, so this will keep. I'll still have 4 types because I'm pulling enchantment out of the yard, but then I am putting a sorcery in. And then we'll probably just go FOMO, Channeler next turn, attack for a ton with endurance up. Why is Tamashi good in Belcher? I mean, the deck is just already playing 4 Lotus Blooms, and Tamashi combos with Lotus Bloom is, I think, all that's really there. So love that they didn't play a Frog here. Although now, do I want to haste a Flytrap? They could have a Fatal Push here, so I think instead of that, I want to do this. I also think I'd probably pitch Flytrap to Endurance, so I could maybe get lucky with Say Its Name, because I have 2 Channelers, so I have like a bunch of extra looks. Oh, I forgot that this was a mandatory draw. I guess I'm just going to discard Say Its Name. That's fine. On F6 in case I hit Bauble, and I did hit Bauble. So remember that my Arena of Glory is exerted. Could definitely see this FOMO being a card we like to draw. At the very least, it seems better than the average top deck. I think my opponent's probably just going to Fatal Push this FOMO, but then they're going to take 6 down to 8. Sorry, down to 7 because they're cracking the fetch. Now down to 5 because they have fetched and shocked. Why Force of Vigor in the sideboard? Titan's on the uptick, and we also want answers to Leyline. I've decided Force of Vigor is the best option because it's the best against Titan. You could play a different option if you wanted to. So there's a cookbook. So my opponent does, if they have Goryo's plus Big Thing, they could go for it now. Instead, they have woken up and found a Psychic Frog. And another copy of Bolt is not exactly ideal. So maybe I should just invoke Endurance now. If I invoke Endurance now, then my opponent has to discard 3 cards to get rid of the Channeler, which is something they probably just will do anyway, so it's not. Let's not do that. Looking for third Say Its Name more than anything else, I guess. Do I have a Phoenix in the yard? I don't think so. Yeah, no Phoenix. I think I'm just taking Commercial District. Cyclane with the 2 months. Hope I'm not butchering your name too bad. Thank you. Welcome back. Discard a Theater. The cookbook that we know about. Would Say Its Name be good in the Greasefang deck? I mean, I don't. Greasefang is an archetype I've explored a lot. It's not an archetype I recommend, but like I think the package of Say Its Name is good, and you know I recommend testing it. If you're just somehow like the world's only Greasefang main in Modern. If you took a real land, you could have cast FOMOs, not worth it. So the problem with casting FOMOs, I have to discard a card. I don't want to discard either Endurance or Flytrap, especially because I need the green card to pitch. And so my plan now is to wait until next turn. If I have to Endurance, then maybe FOMO can be a card advantage card because I could cast it with an empty hand if I cast another card first. And then maybe I can go Flytrap, Fear of Messing Out both with haste next turn. So this is my plan. You could have pitched there and then redraw. Well, yeah, but pitching here isn't good. You know, it isn't good to just shuffle my opponent's graveyard here. That's not a play that makes any sense. I'm just basically discarding 2 cards instead of 1. Would you cut in Soul Trader for say its name? I mean, I would probably try it out. You would maybe just start off by cutting the White of the or Knight of the Reliquary, White of the Reliquary. But I do like that card, so I would try to not cut it if possible. We do also only have 5 types, so we're not getting the crazy counters. Oh, there's another type. Although it's probably just better to haste both, right? Seems better. Oh, I can discard the Tarfire, duh. Feels grave, so maybe Suppliers. You can't cut Supplier. Like, Supplier is good with... Supplier is the best card in the deck, and it's also, like, very good with Say Its Name. So that is not a non-starter as an option to cut. Okay, you are very dead. I guess they could have Force of Despair. I summon a lot of good cards for my opponents sometimes with my words like this. Please don't have Force of Despair. All right. Going to game 3. Dude, I love Flytrap. Flytrap's so crazy. Would you consider birthing Chthonian non-negotiable? You need to play some number of those cards. You could I think you need to play like minimum like 2, but probably like 3 or 4 total. It's like a split of those. They're just so powerful. It seems like white would be the cut, probably. But I like that Say Its Name like buys back your War and Soul Traders and Apprentices and stuff. And then also, of course, has the powerful nut draws in a deck that can already self-mill a lot. Time to bring back Run Afoul? Maybe. I'm going to mulligan this 1-land Arena of Glory hand. I guess I've been saying that a lot. My opponent is in the tank. I mean, hold on. Is this hand actually a mulligan? I have Endurance. I'm on the draw. And, like, having Endurance is, like, such a big deal in a 7-card hand. If I draw a green source, my hand is, like, very, very strong. I'm actually going to keep. It's just that, like, against the Goryo's deck, like, I just want to have a strong hand with Endurance so badly, and then I am just a land away from having a really strong Endurance hand. And obviously I could never draw a green source and feel really bad, but even if I just draw, like, basic Mountain or second Arena, these can dig some more too. My opponent entombs a Yargle here, so if they Goryo's me on turn 2, we're going to feel vindicated for the keep, I guess. Oh, they are playing Saga. Most of the builds I've seen are not playing this. There's a Relic. Famous Last Words of just a land away. Yeah, but it's just like on the draw against a combo deck, and a deck that isn't exactly good against combo. I think you just kind of have to high roll a little bit. You know what I mean? Alright, do you have land number 3 to start Saga tokening? Looks like you do. Obviously the Relic is not ideal for me either. Their pace of play is also just like so slow. These like sketchy keeps always feel so much worse when you have an opponent who's like Cavern of Souls, Frog, Think. They're probably just experiencing some lag, but you're just dying to look at your next card, and your opponent's like, all right, I'm gonna pause on my main phase, tap the Relic, think some more, pass to you, brick. right, let's move on. Opponent is thinking, and they decide to keep 7. Leyline of the Guild Pact into play. You know, we could beat a Leyline Scion, but it is not going to be easy, especially on the draw. You gonna try the Girl Cascade deck this stream as well? Of course. Maybe. I'm just gonna surveil now. We'll see. I think I'm gonna play the red Leyline deck next, and then we'll see after that. But we'll get to them all this week, We'll get to them all this week. Yeah, you could play actual Tarmogoyf also. I think Nethergoyf is just, it's 1 mana, it's escapable, it is just much better on the curve. But you could play Tarmogoyf. It's just I don't really like where it is on the curve. Yeah, I just don't like where it is. Okay, the Entomb of Flage, not ideal for me. Let's see what they're drawing. A Flooded Strand. Just play all the Goyfs. Well, I can't play all the Goyfs because they didn't print. The cool ones from MH3 aren't legal in Modern. For some reason. Alright, Rumbling. Just like Aaron Yeager. Unfortunately, we're putting 2 more Rumbles into the art instead of 2 more Say Its Names, but happy enough to have a FOMO here. Has anyone played Virtuoso lately? It's been bugged for me. Okay, so Virtuoso, yeah, this is Ollie. Virtuoso was bugged for me in the single player queue, where I wasn't getting any counters when I used it, when I connived. I kind of had assumed that this was maybe just a single player bug, that like it's treating it like as an opponent's creatures. But if that's not the case, please let me know, because I need to. I need to know that for my next deck choice. I've been getting into head-to-head as well. That is too bad. Because like the Virtuoso is so cool because it connives your ley lines away. It's so weird because the card used to work correctly too. FOMO has been good so far. All right, they have a ring on turn 4. We got to set up a little bit here. Might be getting Force of Negation. So I'm going to keep that on top in case they Force of Negation this, I guess. They don't, so we'll still just grab it. And then just going to leave up Bolt and Tarfire so I can kill an Omnath in response to the ETB trigger, maybe. Does seem like a lot of people are having FOMO and not wanting to miss out on seeing how good FOMO is. Their domain and kept a hand without 1 or 2 drops. Their Karuga domain. Alright, so we're definitely going to kill this. And we just got to dodge a Solitude. Easier said than done, I suppose. Do you think Brain Surge is underplayed in Frog-type decks? I guess not. I don't think that the card is very good in Frogtide. Probably just 3 mana, don't impact the board. You have to I don't know. I would play Archmage's Charms probably instead. Gotta dodge bindings too. Gotta dodge a lot. All right, so let's. I think we're just looking for a burn spell for next turn, right? Or for like their turn. Not sure. I'm going to keep this, I think. Okay, Omnivorous Flytrap. Step 1 is dodging subtlety. I think my opponent is mostly likely just reading this. So I'm going to put 2 counters on this Dragon Rage's Channeler and then double those counters. Blakey with the 37 months, thank you so much. In response, my opponent is solituding my Channeler, I'm assuming. Pitching a temporary lockdown. Alright, Detective's Phoenix, targeting here, exile Rumble, Rumble, Rumble. Please no tank, 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 force, tank, 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 solitude. Tank, 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 binding, okay. It's not even the right time because I can attack with the Phoenix, but I'm just going to concede here. Do you think Altanak is worth not having Gigantha? Yes. No, it's not. It's, I think, very clear that I'd rather have access to this package to see if it's good, and it has been pretty solid so far, than just to have Gigantha in this kind of deck. Gigantha for me has always been the kind of card, like, it's nice to have it, but it's not something I'm going out of my way to facilitate. Okay, Blood Moon's in, let's go. I think Esther's about to share something with us.
You can't believe the stupidest real ad I just saw.
Okay.
For a show or movie. It's called like 911 or something. It's like that swarm had 2 million bees. It's a bee NATO. The bee NATO is coming.
I mean, is it like
so
it was serious? I don't know, baby.
It was so serious.
I don't know if I believe that.
It was real.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It was real. Okay, I'm probably gonna discard or surveil the discard Tarfire, or maybe it's better to Tarfire. I'm not sure. You're sending me the link, okay. It's a 911, it's 1,000% real. Oh boy. So what's it like being a 911 fan, huh? Okay, so FOMO, discard Arena of Glory. Next turn we get to potentially attack for tons and tons of damage. Is anybody playing Magic Online? Is lag like really bad right now? Because our opponents have been playing at like such like turtle speeds today.
Trump was on 22 million counties. Needs to kill 44,000 people.
The music is so perfect. Yikes. A big yikes. Here's the crazy part about Bee NATO. Why would a truck be hauling 22 million killer bees? That makes 0 sense. That is a wonderful question. Okay, so I think I'm going to untap. Well, yeah, I guess they're just not very likely to have a removal spell if they let me attack. They're just going to take 8 and then 6. I will say this has just been so powerful. I think Golos can finally be free now that Fast Man is gone. Yeah, I mean, Golos should have always been free. Right, you're at 4 life. You didn't have a removal spell last turn. Yeah, this is like just like nothing they can top deck basically. Very little. All right, go to game 3. I don't know if I should play in Force of Vigor against like their ley lines. Let's play 1 over Tarfire number 4. Yeah, Flytrap has just been so good. It's just so much power. Yeah, Flytrap would love. We need to send the Flytrap at the bees. Any ideas on what we might end up trying changing this deck? I think I want to try playing Nethergoyf over Patchwork Beastie and splashing black. I'm not sure if there's any other cards we want to facilitate in the black splash. 7-card Leyline hand every game, but no sign of Draco yet. Yeah, Draco without Leyline. Yeah, but Nethergoyf seems like it would be really strong here. I don't really like the idea of playing Tarmogoyf so much because of mana curve, but Tarmogoyf also could be an option. I just don't really know how you get it in there. Just so awkward on the mana curve. Is this deck almost standard? So, you know what's funny is last time I played this deck, people were like, oh, this deck could be a standard deck. This deck could be a standard deck. But you're missing Phoenix, Arena of Glory, Malevolent Rumble, Tarfire, Dragon Rage's Channeler, Mishra's Bauble, which is like most of the deck. So I don't really understand. Lightning Bolt. I mean, Lightning Bolt's like maybe doesn't count so much, but it's like all of these cards are very important. This is like 27 or 23 cards. Oh, sorry, the Channeler's 227. Maybe don't cut the bolts, 23. Fetch lands too. Yeah, fetch lands are super important for Delirium. But I am just kind of confused that people keep like wondering, like, or thinking that this could be like close to a standard deck. Okay, Griever the Tarfire. So I kind of don't want to pick up this Fear of Missing Out so I can have 6 types on my Flytrap next turn. So let's just pick up a fetch land. I tried to build standard, might I post it? I mean, not really. No, because it's like I don't really play standard, so like I can't really give good feedback on it. I would look at me like, oh, cool, huh? I'm not saying that you can't build it in standard. I'm just saying I don't know how you would build it in standard because I haven't played the format in a long time. I wouldn't be able to really offer any good insight, I think. What do you think the best modern deck is now? Boros Energy still? Boros is fine, but like the metagame is kind of defined by it, and there's like a lot of combo decks are good against it. We got a lot of new good cards. I really like the mono blue Belcher decks. I don't think they're super solved or anything, but I think they're just kind of in general pretty good. All right, so if they have an endurance, they have to endurance now, and so we don't like lose the channeler in the block. The curve of Beastie into FOMO into Flytrap and Rafflecopter in standards busted. Yeah, it might be good, but it's just for me, not something I want to be worried too much about at the moment. All right, so where will they target? They target the channeler. Do they have another binding? Because I'm going to get to hit you for 6 still. Seems like it would have been better to kill this. Yeah, no respect for Omnivorous Flytrap still. So let's see if they have like Land Ring. They do have Land Ring. My Arena of Glory is exerted. So I think I should probably just play 2 beasties and turn them into 5/5s. Save its name for next turn. Is Flytrap a Venus Flytrap? Yeah. They play Supreme Verdict. I mean, maybe. I'm not gonna play around it by like me holding a Patchwork Beastie that like isn't going to have haste because I can't Arena of Glory it is not going to all of a sudden like make me very good against Supreme Verdict here. We saw a temporary lockdown game 1, which also makes it less likely that they have Verdict. If they just lock down, my Flytrap is going to kill them. But yeah, it's just like not a card we're like going to play around with this specific hand. And it's pretty good to just have like 2 5/5s if my opponent is drawing into any targeted removal here. They also played their land before tapping the ring, which is either just a mistake or... Wait, they've gone to their second main phase. But you would think that they would want to draw to see if they find Omnath first. Is Leyline Verdict a thing? Yeah, if you're playing Leyline of the Guild Pact, you probably don't have Supreme Verdict because of your Scions. That's true. All right, mill 1 card. A Malevolent Rumble, mill 1 card. A Dragon Rage's Channeler. Say its name. All in the tech, all in the tech, all in the tech. Okay, we find a Dragon Rage's Channeler and a Detective's Phoenix. So we're going to take the Channeler. Then we're going to surveil to see if we mill the last Say its name. Just a fire. I guess maybe I shouldn't have exerted because I'm going to put this on... Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't have exerted. Okay, so... Also, I guess maybe am I even doing this? So do I want to get... I have to get rid of Say its names to keep all the types, right? Yeah, it doesn't really feel very good. I'm going to feel so embarrassed if I surveil the last Say its name into the yard right now, but it just doesn't seem like what this game is going to... No, it's all the tech. Just, yeah, put that here. Okay, so my opponent doesn't have protection from everything. I have a lot of power and a lot of toughness. I beat a hardcast Solitude, I think. Yeah, they're gonna Solitude my Flytrap, and then I attack for 15. They go to 11. They take 10, then they take 1. Okay, so they've drawn 2 cards now at kind of the worst time. I don't really understand why they didn't draw on their turn. Then they give us the GGs. Okay. Seems like Omnivorous Flytrap is now the new dominant top end of your curve in Modern. Okay, so 4-1 in the 3-2, you know, that is very good, I think, for what is a very fresh brew. I'm very excited about this deck. We will be, I think, iterating on this a lot over the course of this week. This deck, for me, is very hype. It seems to be performing pretty well, despite, like, not... Besides losing most of our die rolls, opponents running hot, and our build is still like kind of an early draft. But let's go ahead and I think pivot into this Leyline of Resonance deck. Seems like a good one to pivot into today.